Welcome back to the draft plan. Let's focus on the tight ends right now. And, honestly, in the early part of the offseason, we're like, they're going to have to address tight end in the draft because the tight ends were getting franchised left and right. But then, this is why you wait. You're patient a little bit because the Jets signed not one, but two tight ends, CJ Uzomah, Tyler Conklin. When you look at those signings, Leger, just how much of a dynamic shift is that for this Jets offense?
Yeah, it's monumental for this Jets offense because it allows you to be multiple on offense.
I mean, let's go, right? I don't know. I hope you guys are excited as I am.
The good thing about CJ Uzomah and Tyler Conklin is they're so versatile. They can be the inline tight end right next to the offensive tackle. They can be in the yo position in the backfield off the hip of the offensive tackle. And then they're comfortable splitting out and running receiver routes.
I think that me and CJ can, be one of the best, if not the best tight end duo. I think we are both really talented, like I said, both do a little bit of everything.
And also, Mike LaFleur really wants to run the football. And both of these tight ends were blockers before they became viable pass catchers. So both of these guys can cut off the defensive end. And then attacking down the seam, which I think the Jets really struggled with last year. These are two viable pass catchers. These can be safety blankets for Zach Wilson. So I think it was monumental to get both of these tight ends signed.
So they're going to get someone who's one of the best tight ends in the league. That's what they're getting.
Mike LaFleur wants to run more 12 personnel, which is two tight end sets. He just didn't have the personnel last year to do it.
Yeah, he didn't, and that's why I think all Jets fans agreed if there were maybe one or two positions of absolute need going into this offseason, tight end was one of them, the other was the secondary. But that being said, Connor, can you still see tight end being a position that the Jets target in this upcoming draft?
I think there's the potential there, Steve, just for the fact that it's such a strong class, right? That's the most important thing to take away. And Joe Douglas will always dive into where the draft class has a lot of talent. But now, instead of needing to take one with one of those top 40 picks, it being a necessity, it gives you flexibility in this draft that you can wait. You don't need to use 35, 38. I don't even think you need to use pick 69 on the tight end position. I think there's going to be starting level talent. You have multiple picks when you look at rounds 4 and 5. You can look at, maybe a different kind of player. Like Leger said, they signed two guys in Uzomah and Conklin that can block, and yes, they can catch, but they were blockers first. Now maybe you look at an Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina, a Greg Dulcich from UCLA, a Charlie Kohler from Iowa State. Guys that can be had outside the first two rounds, most likely, that are more pass-catching tight ends that you can work in certain formations. You have a defined role for them, and they can compete with Kenny Yeboah for that third tight end in different sets. So this opened the door for the Jets to not be desperate at the position while developing whoever they take a little bit more slowly behind Uzomah and Conklin for the foreseeable future.
And Connor, I'm glad you brought up Kenny Yeboah because I was going to bring him up. This is a guy that the Jets got as an undrafted free agent last year from Ole Miss. We saw the last preseason finale game versus the Philadelphia Eagles, him going up on a Hail Mary. In the Tampa Bay game, had a real rapport with Zach Wilson. This is a guy that they really like. The way these contracts have been drafted up by Joe Douglas, he's done a really good job. We can get out of both of these contracts after 2 years. So a guy like Kenny Yeboah going into his fourth year has the potential to be a starter if he develops well.
And the bottom line, guys, the absolute needs that we were talking about earlier this season, the Jets have addressed a lot of them in free agency, which is opening up a lot of avenues to just go out and get the best players available in this upcoming draft. For much more on the upcoming draft, for all your Jets draft coverage, keep it locked here to SNY.